Let's say two of your friends are going to marry. They may invite you, foreseeing you through the process of choosing a new dress, buying a present, maybe taking a flight to some exotic location and pretending to enjoy the company of all those strangers at the party. Or they might not. They might invite people, some of whom you know well, but not invite you. Which one is the worst? No matter what you choose, your friends are in trouble. They run the risk of being perceived as plain favorites, right? And you don't want your team members to feel left out when they are not able to or not invited to join in-person meetings. That's why, when going remote, one good tip is to start pretending that the team is fully remote and asynchronous first. I know that this may not be true in your case, but pretend that it is for a while. If you start thinking of your team as remote, you can focus on the needs of the remote team members and reduce the risk of not inviting someone. Some suggestions for you. Remote-first teams optimize their organization for remote working. They create documentation, policies, and workflows that function based on the assumption that 100% of the organization is remote, even if some continue to occasionally visit a company-owned office. Asynchronous first. We already used this term, remember? Asynchronous means that although there are working hours, again let's say from 9 to 5, there is some flexibility on how each team member may use his time, or due to time zones, the working hours simply do not match perfectly. For example, when Juan starts his day in Mexico City at 9 a.m. and in Paris is sipping a coffee on her 4 p.m. coffee break, while in Shanghai, Cheng is ready to go to bed. Long story short, this means that only a few of the various activities on a project can be performed by 2 or more people simultaneously. Or that when sending a communication, like an email for instance, an immediate response is not expected except under very special circumstances. Or that synchronous communication forms like live meetings are intended as an exception, not the rule. Or that specific activities are needed to bond the team other than having dinner together. Is this too extreme for you? Fine. But think to what extent you do really need to be that synchronous. You may find some room for a small change. Single source of truth. In a co-located organization, it is possible to have different sources of information, formal and informal. The information may not always be consistent, yet each team member may have the opportunity to quickly check and find a truth that suits his or her needs. In a remote-only organization, this is much more difficult to obtain, so a single source of truth is needed. It usually consists of a strong documentation regarding all the procedures, activities, and tasks performed by all team members. It is the repository of the truth where everybody can find all the information required with no need to ask a colleague. All this, more often than not, is a huge cultural shift. As I said, we are just pretending that this is your future organization. But you must always take care of this kind of issue. For instance, by using some sort of project management tool. It may be an official, sophisticated, company-approved one, or something as simple as a shared Excel sheet. Train people on how to use it and make it a habit. Monitor and solve whatever issues may arise regarding the process and make sure that all the workers are informed accordingly. Define status review activities or meetings. That's all for now about the organizational side of remote working. Don't forget that the human side is more important and basically involves trust, and here we have a dedicated episode, and informal communication, and here we have too another dedicated episode.